as a musician, when you grow, as you go through time, or any creative process, your views on what you're doing change, and your creative output changes with your experience. Now, I've made it a mental focus, and a conscious decision all along that I'm not going to get tired of playing these songs. As a matter of fact, how dare I even think for a moment that I'm in control of the potential of where I can take these songs. And what I mean by that is, the moment you get bored with playing something, this is my feeling, and I'm not saying it's the law, but the moment you get bored with playing something, that means that you feel like you've done everything you can. And I never felt that way. I've always felt, ever since from the day I picked up the guitar, I knew that it was never going to end. One of the reasons why I think I play the way that I do is because I never really thought I was ever good enough. I always felt like there was always something to be rediscovered. And good enough isn't about playing faster each year. I've already started slowing down years ago, It's the touch on the instrument. It's your relationship with the note. That can never be deep enough. It's an endless, endless pool. So when I have the luxury of playing a song that has such a beautiful melody, or what I would consider the best that I can do, like Tender Surrender or For the Love of God, I'll be playing that song for the rest of my life. And I look forward to it every time. And every single time I play it, I make a conscious effort to get deeper and deeper into the note. And that will never end. Because if I was to sit here and tell you I'm one with the note, I would be a fool, because you can always go deeper. And the deeper you get, the more of a commitment you make. And that's what people feel. And it's then and there's the payoff, because then you become more in control in a way, And you when you feel the note and you feel the music, it's a beautiful thing, It's a very cathartic kind of a thing. So, every time I play that song, I look at it as an opportunity. Whenever you do a project, it's like a little snapshot of who you were at that time. So when I broke out the tapes for Flexible and I was listening to them, I was peering into, a 22-year-old Steve Vai or something, and it was just, I was like, God, who was that guy, But it was very interesting, because I just was immediately back in that little place, and it was such a wonderful, wonderful, sweet period of my life. Just that period there, living in Sylmar, having that little studio. I was still with Pia, we've been together for 30 years, And my friends, it was like a wayward home for musician refugees. There was like 9 people living in the house, and I had this really great studio in the back. And we just made music. We didn't care about anything, I never expected it to be released. We would just do stuff to make each other laugh. And I recorded tons and tons and tons of stuff. And listening to it just brings you back to that time. And it's a weird record, of course. It's really quirky. But and through the years, I read things about it, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's such a weird record. It's so quirky. What is weird? He does nothing like what he does." And in my mind, I started to think, yeah, that was really bizarre. I'm like Steve Vai now, And I went back and listened to it, and I said, man, it's so beautiful, because it's so innocent and it's so silly. And it was a real joy to remaster it, because now it sounds completely different.